he been breeding dogs longer than anybody I ever met in my life. He been breeding dogs before he came out. Before he was born, he basically was breeding in the belly. You say
pretty
your
much.
dad was a breeder, your grandpa was a breeder and stuff?
Yeah, my grandfather was breeding hunting dogs. Hunting dogs, coon, as they call them, coon dogs, and he was breeding pit bulls. Told me they was him and his buddies was fighting pit bulls back in the wars and shit.
Yeah. So how old was you when you started actually breeding?
I was 7 myself. My grandfather gave me my first dog when I was 7 years old, and I've been doing it ever since.
All right, well, what was your first dog?
It was a mixed dog. It was a coon dog, which was a hound and a pit bull mix named Sheila. She was what they call it now is buckskin or deer. Buckskin or blue fawn is what they call it now. She was brown with a black muzzle.
Oh, okay. So what got you into? And you said that was a what kind of dog?
It was mutt,
A,
pretty much.
a mutt. Okay. So what evolved you into the dealing with the bulldogs, the bullies, the Frenchies, and stuff like that? Like,
I would have to say just going with time. Like years ago when I first started really breeding, I started breeding. My father had, I don't know if you're familiar with them, goddamn Great Danes. We had two big old Great Danes, a merle Great Dane named Shelby, and a boy named Marmaduke, all black. And but my dad was bringing all type of dogs to the crib. We done had Siberian Huskies, we done had Alaskan Huskies, we done had German Shepherds. We had a big old German Shepherd named King. King was 25% wolf, 75% German Shepherd. So it was like he was always bringing dogs home. So it was like it just took over from there.
hmm, took over. So you was telling me about that you was breeding blue pits back in the day when people didn't know what they was.
Yeah. And I want to say 87, 88. I had a little blues. Well, it was like 5 or 6 blues in that litter. And I didn't even know what that was because like when I was coming up, we ain't had no blue pit bulls. We had either white or brindle or tan or black. Wasn't no blues. So when I had them blues, I sold them mugs for like $20 because I thought there was something wrong with my dogs or something else that got in my yard.
Yeah, that was like way before Big Boy and Outkast done with the blues. Cause I think this was the first time I seen the blues was with Big Boy and Outkast on YouTube on YouTube. Big Boy brother.
Yeah. Well, I met Big Boy from Outkast years ago. I think it was about 12 years ago, and they didn't even have no blues at their yard at the time. Way before he actually put his brother in position to take over the breeding of the dogs. They had like brown dogs, black dogs, like the scene from ATL, the movie ATL, is pretty much how his dogs was. So amazing dog. His brother, amazing dog breeder and dog guy actually.
Yeah. Well, what was your first litter with the bullies?
My first litter with the bullies, it really wasn't even. It was I had actually bought a bully from my Mexican up north, and the only reason I bought her, that was about 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. And the reason I bought her is because I had bought English Bulldog from Big Boy from Outkast cousin. I can't think of his name. He was from California. And I couldn't find nobody to breed English Bulldogs to. So I had spent $2,000 on that dog. And I'm like, shit, I'm going to make my motherfucking money back one way or another. So what I did is I seen an ad some bullies, pocket bullies, in Capital Dog Food, and I answered the ad on I was gonna buy a puppy because he was selling puppies for like 1,200 at the time, and when I went out there, the puppies didn't look like nothing. So I'm like, man, what would you sell the mama for? And he was like, man, give me 800 for her. I went to the ATM and grabbed $800 and bought her, and I bred her to that bulldog.
Mm.
And that was my first, like, pretty much bully litter. And I think I had like 10 puppies then.
Okay.
That was my welcome to the artificially insemination, welcome to the C-section world, pretty much.
Okay. How did so I hear you, you know, you've been around a lot of breeders and stuff like that. You even gave Gustine his name. Gustine Bullies his name before.
Yeah.
Is that true, brother?
Yeah. I mean, when I met Gus, I want to say about 15 years ago, maybe. I met him through a third party, a guy named Harlem, and he was going by Gus G from the Heights, and he was claiming he was breeding blue monsters of Chicago Heights, and we got close. We started exchanging ideas and what have you, and I just pretty much one day we was riding, and I'm like, bro, that name don't fit you no motherfucking more. Especially when you really not producing blue dogs. You producing mostly white dogs or cream dogs. Your dog's really not blue. So what happened is, I'm like, you got to come with something different. And he was like, what you mean? I'm like, man, you like a scientist dog and like Frankenstein. Like, y'all you be acting and all that junk. So that's how that came out. That's how Gustine Bullies actually came out. And he took it and ran with it. I mean, even my cousin Tommy Torch actually tattooed Gustine Bullies on him.
Oh, okay. Did you play a part in the first dog she had?
Uh, well, I wouldn't say the first dogs he had because he originally had poodles. He originally had poodles, and he had some pit bulls. He had, I believe, Apollo, and he had Rambo. He probably had some more dogs before then, but I know some of my dogs that I actually had originally ended up in his yard and in his production.
Was Miss Piggy one of them?
Miss Piggy actually originally came from one of my dogs, my original dog's puppy. He actually had one of my dogs and he bred to one of his dogs and created Miss Piggy and Michael Myers.
Okay. Fast forward to the man that you got on your shirt, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. That was the most freakiest dog I ever seen in my life. How did you produce him, man?
What happened is I had a litter by Michael Myers, and I had met a guy that was breeding Old English Bull doggies, and I traded him one of Michael Myers' puppies for Nino Brown, which was an Old English Bull doggy, and I bred Nino Brown to one of Gustine Bully's tricolor bully, and I got my boy Tommy Egan, and I took Tommy Egan to his first cousin, and that's how Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao was created.
Pacquiao was one of the freakiest dogs. Y'all had to see this dude in person. I thought it was a gorilla, man. When I opened that gate and that motherfucker come out that garage, I thought that was a goddamn gorilla. And I seen him as a puppy. I seen him as a puppy. But when I seen him when he was grown, that was like a whole another species, man. So where you at with it today, man? With the breeding and
Well,
stuff like that.
I'm still breeding English bulldogs and I'm still breeding bullies. I'm into a new venture right now, which is the French bulldogs. I haven't produced any litters yet. It's like a hard a hard fought travel right now. Like if anybody know anything about the Frenchies, like they have silent heats, irregular heat, so it's like catching them to actually do their breedings. So now what I did is I paired my Frenchies off to each other. I got a male with a female, female with a male, and that's how hopefully I can catch them together or whatever. But it's like I have a vision on how dogs supposed to look and what I wanted them to look like. And with that saying, I had a vision when I had in my mind when I created Manny Pacquiao. I had a vision. Everybody was like, "Man, why you breeding this dog to this dog, and why you even get that dog?" I had a vision. So right now, I have a vision on what I want my French bulldogs to look like. So that's why I'm at with it right now.
All right, all right. But there you have it, man. We got Tone from Born Ready Kennels in his mind, man. We gonna get back to you. We gonna keep you updated on what he got going on. When litters drops and stuff like that, you give me your social media info.
I'm Born Ready Kennels. My website is Born Ready Kennels. My Facebook is Antonio Montana. My Twitter is Off the Chain 23. My Instagram is Off the Chain 23 and Born Ready Kennels. Shout out to all the new breeders that has actually ever bought a dog from me or actually even in it for the right reason, into the dog game for the right reasons. And shout out to all the dog breeders out there that actually pay homage to the breeders that was before them. Cause like nowadays, most breeders these days just got dogs and they just doing what the hell they doing, and like they not growing, they just growing productions. It's like if you go to their houses, like none of their dogs actually look like what dogs is supposed to look like. They just got dogs at their houses. Like color wise, they might be there, but structure and temperaments and all around a great dog or pet, most people don't have at their house. Because at the end of the day, like I said, a lot of people just breeding dogs to make some money. Every process is not about money. Your investment is worth more than some dollars. Cause like you can actually like literally produce a dog that won't make you no money. But they offsprings will make you a lot of money. Because the way your production looks. Like, take for instance, you bought Bankroll, which is an extremely beautiful dog, and at one point in time you want to get that dog back because of a health issue, and you swallowed your pride and you actually went and paid to have that health issue taken care of, to where you produced Bankroll Junior, Pimp C, Master P, Lux, and the other puppies that came out that litter that might turn out to be even better than their dad or their mama. But that goes to knowing how to actually put two dogs together to actually create better production of dogs.
Gotta have an app for it, man.
You got to have a vision. It's like everybody that got in this dog game had a vision. I remember when me and you went to the dog show, and I seen a massive of a dog, and I told that dude I had some puppies on the way, and I was coming for him way before Manny was actually born. So it's like you got to have a vision.